She was standing between the headstones, watching us dig. I thought she was a mourner, someone who had come to pay respects. But it was 2 a.m., and the cemetery had been locked since sundown, and no one had been there when we arrived. I looked away for 30 seconds, focused on the grave. When I looked back, she was closer, much closer, standing directly at the edge of the grave we were digging, looking down at us, her face covered by long, dark hair, her clothes soaking wet despite no rain, and her feet not touching the ground. My name is Earl Hutchins. I have been a gravedigger at Riverside Cemetery in Louisville, Kentucky for 19 years. Night shift exclusively for the last 11. You dig at night when the family isn't watching, when the ground is cooler and the work goes faster, when you can do what needs to be done without anyone having to see it. 19 years of night shift work. I have seen things in that cemetery. Every gravedigger does. Shadows between stones, sounds that have no source, temperatures that drop without reason. You learn to ignore them. You learn that the dead are not the ones who should frighten you. I believed that for 19 years, until October 31st, 2023, Halloween night. I know how that sounds, but graves don't wait for convenient dates. A woman named Clara Holt had died 2 days earlier. Funeral the following morning at 10 a.m. The grave needed to be ready. My partner that night was a younger man named Roy, 26 years old, 3 years on the job, good worker, quiet, steady. We arrived at the cemetery at 1:30 a.m., unlocked the main gate, drove the equipment to the designated plot. Section 12, Row 7, Plot 14. Standard procedure. The cemetery was empty when we arrived. I checked. I always check. Flashlight sweep of the surrounding area. Nothing. Just headstones and darkness and the smell of autumn earth. We had been digging for maybe 20 minutes. Roy was in the grave. I was at the edge managing the equipment, and I saw her, standing between 2 headstones, 40 feet away, completely still. I assumed she had come in through the side entrance. It happens occasionally. Grief doesn't follow schedules. "Ma'am?" I called out. "Cemetery is closed. You'll need to come back in the morning." She didn't respond, didn't move. I turned back to the work, helped Roy lift a load of soil, checked the depth measurement, turned back to check on her. She was at the edge of the grave, directly above Roy, looking down. She had covered 40 feet in 30 seconds, without making a sound, without me hearing a single footstep. Roy hadn't seen her yet. His back was to her, still digging. I opened my mouth to say something, and got my first clear look at her face. Long, dark hair hanging over her features, but through the hair, I could see her eyes. They were not right. Too wide, too still, not blinking, not reflecting my flashlight the way living eyes do. And her clothes, a white dress, soaking wet, dripping onto the dry earth at the grave's edge. It had not rained in 6 days. And her feet, I made myself look at her feet, 3 inches above the ground, not touching the earth, just hovering, as if the ground itself was refusing to hold her. "Roy," I said. My voice came out quieter than I intended. "Roy, get out of the grave, now." Roy looked up at me. Then he looked at the edge of the grave above him. He saw her. I have never seen a man move so fast. He was out of that grave in 3 seconds, both of us backing away from the plot, eyes on her. She did not react to Roy's movement, did not look at him. Her eyes stayed on me, that wide, unblinking gaze, fixed on my face. Roy grabbed my arm and pulled. We both started moving toward the maintenance road, away from the grave, away from her. I looked back once. She had not moved from the grave's edge, still looking at the spot where I had been standing, still hovering, still dripping water onto dry earth, and her head was tilting, slowly, to one side, the way a curious animal tilts its head when it is deciding whether to follow. We reached the maintenance vehicle. I drove us to the main gate, hands steady on the wheel by sheer willpower. Roy had not spoken a single word since he climbed out of the grave. At the gate I stopped, looked in the rearview mirror back towards section 12. She was standing at the far end of the main path, where the path meets the gate, 20 feet behind us, still watching, still hovering, still wet. Roy opened the passenger door and stepped out, was sick on the side of the road. I called our supervisor from the gate, told him we had a situation, that we were leaving, that the grave was not finished. He was furious, told us to go back in and finish the job. We did not go back in. The grave was finished by a day crew the following morning. Clara Holt's funeral proceeded on schedule. No one asked too many questions about why the night crew had left early. Roy quit the following week. He moved out of Louisville entirely. He still won't talk about that night. Not to me, not to anyone. I went back to work after 2 weeks off. Back to Riverside Cemetery. Back to night shift. Because 19 years is not nothing. Because I knew the cemetery. Because I told myself what I had seen had an explanation. The first night back, I went to section 12, row 7, plot 14, Clara Holt's grave, freshly filled, flowers on top, still fresh. I stood there for a moment, paying respects, trying to feel normal in a place I had worked for 19 years, and noticed something I had not seen before. The headstone beside Clara Holt's plot, an older stone, weathered, hard to read, but I got close with my flashlight and read the name. Margaret Voss, died October 31st, 1923, exactly 100 years before the night we had seen her. I researched Margaret Voss the next day. Local library, historical records. She had drowned in the Ohio River on October 31st, 1923, walking home alone from a Halloween gathering. The river was flooded that year. She fell in the dark. Her body was found 3 days later, still in her white dress, still wet. The historical record noted one unusual detail. When they found her, her eyes were wide open, and her head was tilted to one side. like she was still listening for something, still waiting. Even in death, I still work at Riverside Cemetery, still night shift. But I no longer work in Section 12 after midnight. I have never told anyone why. But sometimes, when I am working in another section of the cemetery, and I sweep my flashlight across the grounds, I see her, standing between the headstones in Section 12, watching, hovering, wet, and her head tilting slowly to one side, like she is deciding whether to come closer. If you ever find yourself in a cemetery at night and you see someone standing between the headstones, someone who should not be there, do not call out to them. Do not look directly at them, and do not, under any circumstances, let them see your face, because some of the dead do not know they are dead, and some of them are still waiting for someone to tell them. And if they choose you, you will spend the rest of your life hoping they don't follow you home. Sleep well. And if stories like this keep you up at night, you are not alone. Subscribe for more horror stories. Every week, new story, new nightmare. See you in the dark.